Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Mike Kelly from Real Estate Jerky Daily. I hope the sound's coming in okay because I didn't check that.
It
this
sounds pretty
morning.
good, actually, in my phones.
No, it's a speaker coming back in the wrong.
Uh-oh.
Speaker's not. That's weird. Roadcaster's working one place, but not the other. So how you doing this morning? Thanks for Rotary. Thanks for what you're doing.
I'm doing good. I'm here.
Oh man,
I was there. I thought Rotary would go longer than it actually did with the scholarship receivers. They did a pretty good job, don't you think? Don't you think Jim did okay?
Yeah, I think they did a great job. They always do a good job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank God for Bev.
Ain't that a fact?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the mics are okay. The sound is not coming through my headphones, right? But we'll just keep going. All right, what do we have to talk about today?
Nothing really. Was there anything that was reported today?
Initial jobless claims came in, and it fell by 13,000 to 228,000, signaling ongoing labor market resilience. It goes up one week, and it's a surge, and goes down the next week, and it's a resilience.
It's a purge.
Yeah. Continuing claims dropped by 29,000 to 1.879 million. And the previous figure was not revised at all at the 1.9 million, stayed the same. So we had a little, remember there's only so many weeks they can be on unemployment, continuing claims, and then they have to get off. So That's where you have the falling off. That's what I'm taking it.
Hey, I have about 16 boxes of dictionaries to deliver today. Is anybody out there in Real Estate Jerky land want to ride around with me and help me deliver?
Because you need help getting the boxes out.
Well, there's just a lot of them,
Yeah,
it'd be cool to pull up, run in, boom, drop them off.
Yeah, why don't you? You know what you could do? Go by Home Depot and pick up somebody for $50 for $25.
Take them to my house, have them take a shower.
No, just have them run in and drop off the stuff for you. Yeah, carry it in for you on each place. Yeah, you can just walk in with them and carry it in.
Most of the boxes aren't that heavy. My lower back will be absolute garbage by tonight, but that's fine.
Of course. That's why I said do it.
Get her done.
All right. What else do I have? Bond market. It was Dow's up 394 today right now. In the bond market, rates are down 11 basis points. That means the 10 years probably sitting at 4.31. So we're staying right here. We can't go any lower. So basically we're at a 25-day moving average, and we're testing the 50-day ceiling. I don't want to get into all that because you really don't care.
Freak people out.
Yeah, but one thing that did happen, Fed did talk yesterday and come out, and they're saying, like we all know by now that, hey, we're keeping it unchanged. We're not doing anything. Powell said waiting 22 times in his press conference, making it clear that they're opting to observe rather than act.
Okay.
So they're just going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting until
see what happens.
Yeah, until it falls apart. The wheels come off the train or the car or whatever. But many people are saying that the Fed is really overly restricted by about 1%, even after the 100 basis points cuts in last September for the election. Sorry, that was political.
That was.
Meanwhile, the Bank of England actually cut their rates by 25 basis points with a narrow 5-4 vote. So 5 people said yes and 4 said no. That's how that works. Democratic situation. Yeah, but they're not really a democracy. They're a monarchy or whatever they are.
But kind of a democracy as well. They're a mixture of the two.
So economic data, there's productivity and inflation, productivity and labor costs. First quarter productivity declined by almost, it was negative 0.8%, worse than the negative 7%.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not percent, it's 0.8 and 0.7. So let's just say rounded to 1%.
Okay.
So negative 1%. That's a big reversal from the prior quarters of plus 1.7%. So we are seeing a productivity go down, and unit labor costs surged by 5.7% above the 5.1% forecasted. This is also inflationary. There's a used car inflation. I'll let you talk in a second.
I don't want to talk about nothing.
Used car inflation. The Mannheim report, used car prices were up 2.7% in April and 4.9% year over year, the highest since October 2023.
That's interesting.
Car Gurus also showed a 1.2% rise in car prices. That's really, so if it's a $30,000 car, what's it up? It could be almost $4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. These prices increase. That's just an estimate. don't get your own calculator out to figure it out.
Calculator.
Yeah, the prices increase reflect pulling forward demand ahead of anticipated tariffs, which may begin showing up this month in the inflation data. U.S. UK trade deal. President Trump is set to unveil the first comprehensive trade agreement with the UK. This could set the tone for other deals, especially regarding the 10% baseline tariff. EU retaliation. The European Union is preparing retaliatory tariffs and may
retaliatory tariffs.
Yeah, easy for me to say.
Yeah,
and bring a World Trade Organization case against the U.S. in response to trade pressures. Expect tensions to escalate unless a broader framework is reached. So you got UK and then the EU, right? Two different places, even though we think they're the same. To me, they're the same.
They seem like.
So basically what they're saying is you can't protect yourself and we're going to take you to court. Well, that's what everybody does to him anyway.
Yeah. Do it. Get in line.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
And then we'll figure out later that there were nothing wrong.
A couple housing policy issues. The White House is proposing eliminating Section 8 housing vouchers. Boy, people would have to start paying their own way.
That's going to be weird.
Yeah. They won't be able to have all the iPads and TVs. Have you ever walked into Section 8 housing? I have a couple of times when they were selling the properties.
Yep,
and it's I have not seen so many TVs and iPads in a place in my life.
Everybody's got an iPad.
Yeah. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but that's just what I saw.
The last few I've walked through, every kid had an iPad. There are about 4 kids in there. And they got at least 55-inch TVs in just about every room. And then Game Boy and what's the
Xbox?
Well, you got Game Boy and Xbox. Yeah.
Fannie Mae latest home price sentiment index for April 2025 indicates indicates a shift in consumer attitudes. Overall sentiment increased by 1.1% compared to March, reflecting a modest rise in consumer optimism. Selling condition, despite the uptick, a growing number of Americans believe it's a bad time to sell a home, citing concerns over affordability and market volatility. Well, in a lot of places, there's some issues, and that's what you have to look into. Regions. So about home selling across regions, Northeast, higher optimism with substantial percentage of respondents viewing it as a good time to sell. The South, more cautious outlook with fewer individuals believing it's an opportune moment to sell, possibly due to economic factors. I talked to a lady yesterday who was in Florida, and she was talking about how, the price point above 500,000 is just sitting
stagnant. Huh?
Yeah, and underneath that is moving well. Well, that's like here,
right?
The consumer, if you have somebody who's looking for a house under 500,000 and the house that comes on for 475, you're going to have multiple offers because there's hardly those around.
Exactly,
and that's what they're seeing there too, because the average person can't afford the $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 home in the areas where they're working. It's kind of like here, the Bay Area, you commute to the Bay. And that's pretty much all I have for the day.
Well, I searched this morning about 4:30 on the couch on my iPad. And I couldn't find anything that was worth reporting. I mean, there's that typical stuff. People are still, there's lots of classes coming out right now trying to help realtors determine how they're going to move forward in their career with the NAR settlement. It's kind of old news.
Yeah. Well, I don't see that once it becomes a buyer's market, a balanced market. If we do, sellers that's going to be old news.
They're going to have to entice. Yeah. It's old news.
And that's like the lady I talked to yesterday. She was saying that in Florida, first part of the year was a big deal in January, but now it's not even a question.
Right.
They are giving that money towards the buyer to pay the buyers and incentives and everything else. And so and that's why I thought it would just shake out. Some people would take advantage of it in the beginning, and they did, and the sellers, and now, if they want to sell their house, they're paying for the buyer side.
Yep.
But I've seen some weird things where it's like 3.5 for this, it's almost like it's a short sell, 3.5 for the seller and 2.5 for the buyer's agent. So I saw another one was 3.6 and 2.4.
That's so silly. I mean, okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. At least they had some money towards him.
Yeah, I'm busy texting my son because it's his birthday today. He's going to be What is he going to be?
10?
He's going to be 36.
Wow.
He is 36
Not going to
today.
be. He is
36 today. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday he was 4. But the splitting of, okay, I'm going to take 3.4% and I'm going to give you 2.6%. That's just BS. You're going to be if you're going to be in the business for a long time, other realtors are going to realize that things are going to change again, and you're going to be out of business because you don't act fairly.
Did you know they're going to have the high-speed rail in California by 2050?
Sure, there.
And it's $130 billion to finish it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be way over. It'll be way over that.
It started at 20 billion, and they're like, okay, let's start.
Yeah,
who's getting this money, and why is it taking forever? But they're announcing how amazing job they're doing on getting it. Yeah, well, you're not doing an amazing job.
Well, and what's going to happen is, there are going to be all these cost overruns. It's going to go well over 200, probably 250 billion.
The cost overruns. It's getting to 130.
Yeah, but they're going to be more, is what I'm saying, and it's going to be like 1.5 miles long.
2 miles. Yeah. Well, by then we'll have flying cars. We won't need it. All right, everybody, make a great day. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully Mike will have some news about real estate.
I will.
All right, everybody.
I'll search some more today.
All right, you got numbers tomorrow for.
Yeah,
anyway.
I got numbers. Yeah.
All right, talk to you tomorrow. Everybody, make it a great day.
Enjoy.
Bye.
This Thursday.